Velocity X in your system is nearly depleted. Your time as a speedster is coming to an end.
If you've never heard of the hit Netflix TV series The Flash, then you are seriously missing out. It's an American superhero television show that's based on the Barry Allen incarnation of the DC Comics character The Flash. The Flash is a costumed superhero crime fighter with the power to move at superhuman speed. The Flash is also a spin-off from Arrow, existing in the same fictional universe. It's no wonder this show has been a hit for 7 seasons, with surely another season on the horizon. In today's video, we're going to cover everything that happened in Season 7 of The Flash and whether or not this really is the last season. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss out on any of the new videos we post. What happened in Season 7? In Season 7, Episode 1, the new season kicks off with Barry Allen waking up after being cryogenically frozen to preserve his 1% Speed Force energy. He awakens when Eva McCulloch is spotted destroying Black Hole's remnants. Barry tries to convince her to stop and release his wife Iris, but this does not work out. Eva continues her attack by destroying Sam Scudder, her first duplicate. Meanwhile, Cecile Horton interrogates Rosa Dillon and learns that she used to be an empath and is working with Ava. Using her empath abilities against her, Cecile gets her to reveal Ava's next diabolical plan, where she plans to use a bomb to destroy a black hole plane over Central City. Meanwhile, Nash Wells realizes he can activate Artificial Barry's Speed Force ASF generator. Unfortunately, it would result in Nash's death. Nash ends up sacrificing himself and the other Wellses to restore Barry's speed, and he ends up saving Central City. While this is all going on, Iris attempts to escape while Ava realizes that she's a duplicate and the real Ava is actually dead. What an episode. In Episode 2, we see the crew mourning the deaths of Nash and the Wellses. Meanwhile, Barry and Cisco Ramon are working towards saving Iris, Camilla, and CCPD Captain Singh by opening up a portal to the Mirrorverse. Barry discovers he's able to predict outcomes. Using this ability, he exposes Ava as an imposter on live TV, forcing her to then flee. An unexpected, devastating choice emerges: save Iris or save Camilla and Singh. Barry prioritizes saving Iris. A portal is then opened where Iris is forced to come through alone, but then experiences an intense seizure. It shocks Barry into realizing what he's done and disables the ASF. In the meantime, Ava schemes to take over the world by replacing everyone with mirror duplicates. In Episode 3, we see Ava begin to replace people with their mirror duplicates. Ava convinces Barry that he cannot win against her, but then Harrison comes to the labs and reminds him that he is the paragon of love. Following this, Barry goes to see Iris and ends up reviving her. They reactivate the ASF and fight the duplicates, and they finally end up convincing Ava to stand down. Ava, showing some remorse, tries to stop her duplicates, but they become much too powerful, and so she decides to join forces with Barry and Iris to destroy the duplicates. Ava then returns to the Mirrorverse and everything seems great. Harrison decides to put himself in a time loop so he can live peacefully with his wife. What everyone doesn't realize yet is that when Barry and Iris revived the Speed Force, they unknowingly released 4 different colored lightning bolts. In Episode 4, it has now been 1 week after Ava's attack and the Central City has begun rebuilding. At the same time, Abracadabra returns and lets himself be arrested so he can complete an antimatter bomb that he plans to use on Central City as vengeance for his family being eliminated from existence. Barry, however, talks Abra into disabling the bomb, but then they're suddenly attacked by a monster that absorbs the bomb. Abra tries to save Barry, but he's killed in the process. Barry almost gets killed, but the monster stops and ends up wincing and running off in pain. Elsewhere, Frost and Caitlin Snow have announced to Cisco that they've separated from each other. Now comes Episode 5, where we see Caitlin and Front argue over whether they should re-emerge or stay separated, but ultimately decide on the latter. Meanwhile, Barry is visited by the Speed Force as his mother, Nora Allen, carrying the same energy as the monster that attacked Barry and Abra. Barry then ends up stuck in perpetual nightmares along with the entire Central City. Barry ends up inside a nightmare alongside Eobard Thawne and Savitar and ends up quite injured. Team Flash uses Barry's speed, Cecile's abilities, and Clifford DeVoe's hover chair to send out a courage wave. However, Psyche disappears and Barry is not recovered, so he puts himself back in his cryogenic chamber. Elsewhere, Kristen Kramer, a liaison from the Governor's Municipal Logistics Commission, arrives at the CCPD. Distrustful of her, Iris conducts a background check while Kramer admits to Joe that she's there to arrest Frost. Later, the Speed Force says Psyche also attacked them and that he and Fuerza are like her. In Episode 6, we see Cisco and Chester begin to create devices to detect Fuerza and Psyche. While they're setting one near Chester's hometown, they get trapped in a time loop of the day before Chester's dad Quincy died in a car accident. With the help of Chester's late father, they create a device that will protect them from the Time God, a high school quarterback who's trying to prevent an injury that ultimately ruined his football career. Chester tries to convince him to let the past go. His future will remain unwritten. This then causes Dion to realize he can change everyone's future before vanishing, putting Cisco and Chester back in the present day. Cisco later finds 3 other forces and determines Dion, Fuerza, and Psyche are their conduits. In the meantime, Barry emerges from his cryo chamber and Iris bonds with the Speed Force before inviting it to stay with her and Barry. Episode 7 sees Barry's power glitch when he's around the Speed Speed Force. It tries to help, although its appearance unsettles Barry. In the meantime, a microchip has been stolen from the Ivo laboratories and a driver is also killed by someone with ice powers. Kramer strongly believes Frost is the culprit and issues a warrant for her arrest. While this is all going on, Frost visits her old bar to find some information on the new meta from the new bartender. Mark Blaine, now called Chill Blaine, reveals that he had created the microchip just before he was fired and used his own cryogenic tech to replicate Frost's powers and frame her. He does defeat her, but then Frost stabs Chillblaine. The Flash and Allegra provide medical attention while Frost reveals she recorded Blaine's confession. Kramer and the police arrive and Frost decides to turn herself in and surrenders peacefully. Both Barry and Nora acknowledge that Frost is much different from the Speed Force entity that they once knew before. And there you have it, all up to date with every episode thus far on Season 7 of The Flash. Episode 8 is scheduled to come out May 4th, and interesting fact, Danielle Panabaker, who plays Caitlin Snow, directed the upcoming episode. Will this be the last season? Many members of the Flash team took to Twitter to share that there would in fact be another season of The Flash. CW has announced they will be renewing the show for an 8th season. This is very exciting for the Flash fans and the cast members. So when will we see Season 8 air? Considering the series is currently in the middle of airing the 7th season, it's safe to say we won't see Season 8 until sometime in 2022. We bet you're curious about all things Season 8, including the cast and what the actual season will be about. Well, nothing's been guaranteed yet, but we have some predictions. It's really anyone's guess who could show up in The Flash Season 8, but we assume that some of the major castmates will most likely return. This includes Grant Gustin, who plays Barry, along with longtime cast members Candice Patton, Carlos Valdez, and Danielle Panabaker. However, we'll definitely see some new faces, as this seems to be a running trend in every season, and we love it. It's always exciting adding new characters into the mix. So what will Season 8 be about? Well, there's no real synopsis for Season 8, and we probably cannot predict what will happen without seeing the ending of Season 7. And as we all know, there's always something huge that happens in the finale, especially if there's another season following, so it's anyone's guess at this point. Unfortunately, no trailer for Season 8 has been released, but we don't expect to see one until after the finale of Season 7. So there you have it, everything that's happened in Season 7 of The Flash so far, and the announcement that the CW network will be renewing The Flash for an 8th season. For all you Flash fans out there, this is great news. Not only do we get to look forward to a great ending of Season 7, but we also get to witness another season of exciting adventures by the Flash crew. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss any of our new entertaining content. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on the channel.